Hi, welcome to the second episode of Unity Game Development for Complete Beginner series. In the previous episode, we saw how we can download and install Unity Hub, how to install Unity version 2019.2, how to install Visual Studio, the difference between the alpha, beta, and final version of Unity releases, got familiar with the Unity Hub, and finally, we also created our first Unity project. If you haven't watched our previous tutorial, then please watch it first and then come back. In this episode, we will do a quick tour of the Unity editor. We will get familiar with the various windows available in the Unity editor. In the end of this tutorial, you will be able to recognize each of these windows and their purpose. You will also be able to identify what each of these window sections does, and it will help you to easily work with Unity in the coming tutorials. We will also have a quick look of the tools available at the top left corner of the screen. We will also have a look at some of the other ways we can use our Unity editor and how we can customize our editor according to our needs. So let's move towards the tutorial. Project window. First of all, we will have a look at the project window. The project window displays all the files related to your project and is the main way you can navigate and find assets and other project files into your application. When you start a new project, by the default, this window is open. However, if you cannot find it or it is closed, you can open it by going to Windows, General, Project. The left panel of the project window shows the folder structure of the project as a list containing a hierarchy. When we select a folder from the list, Unity shows its contents in the pane in the right. All the assets like images, sound, 3D models that we bring into Unity from outside of Unity are first placed in the project window. If we want to import an asset into the project window, we can just drag it from its location and drop it into the project window. We can organize our project window by creating folders. There are many other things that we can store in our project window, but we will talk about those in the later videos. The scene view. The scene view is your interactive view into the world you are creating. In simple words, scene view is the place where you spend most of your time and do most of your work here. It is the basic drawing board where you create your whole game in the visual form. Your scene view is a complete world where you can drag objects from project window and simply drop it into the scene view. Selecting, manipulating, modifying objects in the scene view are some of the first skills you must learn to begin working in Unity. But don't worry, I will teach you all of that. If you're working with 2D, you can change your scene view to look like a 2D screen by clicking this button on the top. Also, you can change it back to 3D scene by clicking on the same button. The game view. The game view is rendered from camera in your application. In simple words, it represents your final published application, or if you are familiar with emulator in Android Studio, just think of it as an emulator in Unity, but it is much better and faster. It shows you how your application will look after being built on your desktop or mobile. You can consider it as your mobile screen while playing the game. You can also set your game view according to the different screen resolutions of your mobile or PC. Some of them are already available, and you can also add a resolution of your own. We will leave it to free aspect for now. You can also scale it up or down to zoom in or zoom out. The play mode. You can click on the play button to start your game in the game view. You can play, pause, resume, and stop the game. The hierarchy window. The hierarchy window contains a list of every game object in the current scene. These are the objects that make up most of your game, called game objects. When you add or remove a game object from the scene, they appear or disappear from the hierarchy as well. By default, the hierarchy window shows game objects by the order of creation, with the first created game object at the top of the list and last created object at the bottom. You can reorder the game objects by dragging them up or down or by making them a child or parent game objects. Unity uses a concept called parenting. When you create a group of game objects, the topmost game object is called the parent game object, and all the objects grouped under this game object are called child game objects or children. To make any game object the child of another, drag and drop the intended child game object onto the intended parent game object in the hierarchy. The inspector window. The inspector window or the inspector displays detailed information about the currently selected game object, including all the attached components and their properties, and allows you to modify the functionality of game objects in your scene. We can use the inspector to view and edit the properties and settings of almost everything in Unity Editor. When you select a game object in either hierarchy or scene view, the inspector shows the properties of all the components and materials of that game object. Here we can see that the inspector with the main camera game object selected, in addition to the game object's position, rotation and scale values, all the properties of main camera are available to edit. You can rename your game object from the inspector window. You can also hide the game object from the scene by unchecking this box in the inspector window. It will hide from the scene window but will remain in the hierarchy. You can also change the position, scale and rotation of a game object from inspector window. The toolbar. You can find the toolbar at the top of the Unity editor, and it is not a window. The toolbar consists of several groups of controls, each relate to different parts of the editor. We will talk about this section of toolbar for now, and one at the top left. The first tool in the toolbar, the hand tool, allows you to pan around the screen. After the hand tool is selected, if you click Alt and mouse left key, you can view the scene from all sides. The next is the move tool. It allows you to move your object in all directions X, Y, and Z. When you move the object using the move tool, you can see the position values changing in the inspector as well. The rotate tool used to rotate the objects in all directions. Again, you can also rotate your object either by rotate tool or by changing the values in the inspector. The scale tool is used to scale your game object in 3 directions or any of the direction. The next is the rect tool. The rect tool is just like the scale tool, but is also most appropriate to use in the 2D environment. The next tool is the collection of all tools at one place. And we don't need this last one for now. The layout tool. Different people use Unity with different layouts. We can also customize the layout according to our own needs. You can change the arrangement of your views and then save the new layout or load an existing from the layout drop-down menu. Click on the layout drop-down menu. The one you are currently seeing is the default layout. You can select the different layouts and work with the one you find most comfortable. You can also change the layout of the editor by dragging, dropping, and resizing different windows. And then save this layout. You can always change your layout for you. That was all for this episode. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below.